A little bit about the significance of Christ referring to himself in this way, and why the gospel writer of John chose to highlight it so much. So back in Exodus chapter 3, Moses encounters God in the burning bush. God is commissioning Moses to go to the most powerful nation in the world at the time and tell Pharaoh, someone who, by the way, Moses knew personally and had previously run away from, that he needs to let the Hebrew slaves go. Well, understandably, Moses is not feeling up to the task on his own merits. And so he asks God, "Who should I say sent me?" God tells Moses, "You go tell that person who thinks that he is a God that I am who I am sent me." And so when Jesus is referring to himself in this way, I am the way, the truth, and the life. I am the true vine. I am the resurrection and the life. His Jewish listeners would have known full well the implications of what he was saying. See, a lot of people fancy themselves a God, but Jesus is putting that mantle on himself when he uses the I am statements. The scripture that I just read has the Pharisees questioning Jesus' testimony based on valid testimony Jewish laws. At that time, for a testimony to even be considered valid, you couldn't just testify on your own behalf. You had to have another person corroborate that. So you had to have at least 2 adult males testify to corroborate a story for it to even be considered. And when you think about it, that makes the first testimonies of the resurrected Lord all that more significant historically and culturally when you consider that it was women who first testified to seeing Jesus rose from the dead. But here Jesus is telling them that I don't judge anyone, but even if I do judge, my testimony is valid because it's not just me who testifies. I and the Father are one. So essentially Jesus is saying, you want to know who sent me? I am who I am.